So I've just started a brand new survival world, and this over here is my old survival world. Now if you've never seen this world before and you're new to it, welcome, and if you are very familiar with this world, welcome. Today what I want to do is I want to give you guys a quick explanation on the two different series that I'm going to be running on my channel right now, and where each one sits in my mind and my plans for the two in the future. Now before I get any further in this, if you are one of the new people to this world, I'd recommend checking out the world tour I did just a few episodes back, because that'll get you up to scratch with where we've been and where we are right now, and of course then you're completely caught up. And of course if you want to check out that series, we will have the playlist linked as well. Now I want to start things off with this world over here and what I think about it. So first of all, I love it, and what I think I'm going to be doing with it is going into the building aspect of this world, because this series started off as a Let's Play series, and I think it's transitioned over time into a Let's Build series because this project is a huge project that we've got going on right now, and this world is going to be pretty darn cool by the time it's done, and I really don't want to lose that by starting a new series. On the other hand, the series that I've just started is a Let's Play series, and I think it's got what I've lost in this world, which is the playing of the game, the Let's Play part of the world. And what I've been thinking is that I really want to do a playing world, and I really want to do a building world. And of course, they can be different. This one will have the big project, the other one will be where I end up playing in the world, and of course still building things, but probably not to this exact scale. So to do a real quick sum up, this world is going to be the world where I still play in survival and build and get this project done, and my other world is going to be the world where I end up adventuring and exploring and still building, because I can't help but try and make the world a bit more pretty, and I really do love building, but it's not going to be the main focus of the series like this one will be. So that's it for the rambling. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew exactly where the series was, and of course if you were new to it, then you know where to check out where the rest of this world is and how we got here. So I wanted to start off on the roof here, because this was where I just kind of enderpearled and found myself looking at views in all different directions. We've got our pirate ship over there, we've got the little pirate village, Bluebird's Bay, we've got our lighthouse over there, we've got our windmill, and then we've got all the way in the distance our spruce forest. And I thought, you know what? I haven't actually had a look at what this, the castle, looks like from all of those directions. And I think that's probably a question that I'm not the only one who has a question about. So let's go off, let's enderpearl out in that direction, and we'll have a look at the views of this thing, because I've been stuck inside of it. So coming from here, I hope we just see a little bit of a... Oh, wait, I forgot about those guys. Not gonna lie, that freaked me out. While I was just talking to you guys, I was just thinking, wait, what is that? It's a villager. We forgot about him. They are slowly but surely jumping up there. But what I was saying was, I haven't actually checked if this does peek out just over the top here since I've built it. So look at that. Yeah, that is actually really, it's weird. As we're going back, it's going taller and taller. But that is looking real good. Let's just go from a different angle. Can we see it there? Oh yeah, that is so good. You see, the one thing about building is getting it right from a distance and getting it right up close. Am I stuck in that? There we go. Getting it right from a distance and getting it right up close. And that over there, I think that hits the nail on the head. Just seeing that little bit sticking out the top there, we can get a bit of a higher view over here. Yeah, that's going to be good. Now picture more towers, more things going on. I'm very excited for that. That looks pretty darn good. This is actually a better view than I was expecting. Yeah, look at that. That is so good. The windmill, actually, I've never looked at the windmill from here, but there's the windmill there. I'm not too sure what my current render distance is, but it's really not too far. And to be able to see those from within, I think it's 12 right now. To see those within 12, that's actually pretty darn good. All right, so I actually got it wrong. It's 16 currently, which is a little bit further than what I normally have. I think 16 is probably still quite a good number anyway. I'm not too concerned about going much above 16. I think that's a bit excessive in my mind. I like seeing the ends of the world as well. I don't want it to just keep going out infinitely. But there we go. That view is actually quite a winning view. Look at that. Picture that being done up as well. Of course. I missed it. All right, to the other side. So at the farm area, I want to have a look at what this looks like. And of course, we probably won't be here too often, sadly, but there's just not much going on in this area. Maybe we could hide a farm or something underneath here, but more often than not, I'm probably just going to have this as a pretty little area on the side of the world. So how does this look from here? There's a little one of those new towers poking through. I can't quite see the roof, which maybe that's a good thing. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's looking good. All those little spikes on it look real good. There's only one more view that I want to check this out from. I think it's probably going to look the best from over there because we're going to see it from the front, and we're also going to get all this city in as well, if I'm correct. Maybe we need another view, maybe a boat view as well. Oh, would you look at that there? That is actually a pretty darn good view, despite the fact that it's small. Let me zoom in. You can see it just going in the distance there. That's obviously 16 chunks just beyond that. You can see those little spikes sticking up there. That is so cool. Imagine more of this filled in over here. We'll have more buildings and all that. I think it's going to be really cool. Now, the view that I really wanted to see was the boat one. That's the new one. The new thing on my mind. How does this look over here as we come in? This could actually be a little bit of a cinematic look if we did another world tour around here anytime soon. This is probably an angle we could zoom in through. Look at that. Oh, this is it. This is the angle. Look at that. So good. That is very, very cool. All right, now I think we need to get into a little bit of building. Now, because this world's going to be a bit more about building, what I want to do is I want to show you guys a bit more about what goes through my mind while I'm building, because sometimes I tend to lose that a little bit. I end up getting a little bit distracted and just getting into the build. And I know that there's a lot of people who ask me, how do you do this? Or how do you build like that? And I think the real answer is, the whole teach a man to fish thing. I think that's sort of maybe the answer that I should be giving for this, where if I can show you guys how I build, or at least what I think of, it might help you out a little bit more with building. And of course, if you do know a bit of the stuff that I do say, you can always chime in and in the comments and say exactly what you would do in this situation or how you would think about these things. But what we're going to be thinking about today is the next layer of this castle, because we've got the towers in. The next thing is to get the walls in. And then of course we can go into building a bit more of the castle itself. And I wanted to just get the walls in so we knew exactly where we were going to end, and then we can merge the rest of the buildings into it. Like these towers, of course, I do want to make an archway and connect these up in the future, but I'm planning on maybe just thinking about that quite a bit more because it's an angle. It's also something I haven't dealt with merging these in, but I do love the look of these. They got so many little details in them, like all these little pieces work so darn well, and I'm very happy to have those in the city because they're actually quite a quick build. I know you saw me build them in a few minutes, but it took a little bit longer than that, but really not that much longer. Where we just had the yellow blocks, that was the plan for the wall area, but I was thinking about it, and where we'll probably run into a few problems with the small wall that we were doing there, where you could see it was sometimes going 3 blocks and then in, then 2 blocks, then 2 blocks. That's going to be a little bit of a problem if we wanted to put a few details on the wall. So what I want to do is I want to run the wall a few blocks at a time, and then we can step it in every now and then, and we'll see how we go with that. So I want to start right about here. Right on this one. Let's just remove these and we'll start putting together my ideas for what I think a good wall would look like. So we're going to kick things off with this wall over here, and I'm going to do it in 7 blocks so that we could always move it down to 5 or potentially 3, or we could even go longer if we really wanted to, but I think 7's probably the maximum number of blocks that I like to build on in terms of getting a number. So what I want to do is I want to work out a wall design that we could easily repeat. I don't want it to be too detailed because I think the castle's going to be fairly detailed by the time we're done with it, and having just too many details might just be a bit too distracting. And of course, if we really think the wall needs to be incredibly detailed, we can come back and do that. But I think just keeping the wall somewhat plain, not looking very plain, but somewhat plain, will be a good thing. So here we go. What we're doing is we're going to try work out a nice repeating pattern that we can use for these walls that won't look boring by the end of it, but also won't look too crazy. And what I'm thinking is let's just get the height right. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, what's the block in my head? 5, 6, 7. Now that's going to be a really, really high wall, but we'll see how we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Surprisingly not as tall as I expected. Let's just step back because I don't want to lose the view of the castle. Yeah, that's disgusting, llama. Every time I go past him. Yeah, the wall, I mean, the block's just behind there. I think that'll be fine. So of course I've thought about this a little bit, and what I'm thinking is I do want to have these, I think they're called Crenellations. I never know if they're Crenellations or Crenellations. I've watched enough videos on castles that I should know, but I'm always terrible with that stuff. But there we go. I want to have those and I want to work them in somehow. And I think the way we could do that is maybe just leaving that there and then building out a little chunky bit at the top there. And what that means is that as we walk past the wall, we'll have all the area in this block over here to work with, and then we'll still have something looking good at the top there. And I think that's probably going to be a bit more important. So what we'll do here, let's just get a bit of support. We'll make it look like it's actually being supported. I brought those for a reason. So we'll do something like that. I'm surprised I can actually reach. There, that must be the last block that I can actually reach. And there. And if we step back, it's already looking good. So we can put in another block in there. I think that's where it's looking a little bit weak. So we can maybe get some wall blocks. That's why I brought those. But we can also bring these. Let's get these into it and see what that looks like. I think that's a bit better. I want to try walls, but I quite like the look of that. I don't know if the walls are going to be any better than that, but let's try it out. It's kind of funny using walls on walls, but we're not using the wall for a wall. It's weird how this game is. Stairs for stairs, but not really. Normally we use slabs for stairs and stairs for roofs. Gosh, imagine trying to explain that. Building in Minecraft, it doesn't make any sense. Let's just try this. I'm just going to give this a go. If it works, we'll keep it. If it doesn't, we'll remove it. It doesn't. So let's check that out. I actually didn't have a good look at the wall. Let's try the wall out. Do I prefer the wall or the stairs? I think I prefer the wall. I really like this stair look though, but I think the wall is something we could maybe work in a bit more detail. The other thing that I think we should try out is changing out the wall blocks from the cyan terracotta, which I do like, but I want to try out the basalt. I think the basalt is definitely a contender. All right, so let's check. Does the basalt match up? It does actually. You know what surprises me about basalt is how it doesn't clash with the cobblestone as much as I thought it would. I really thought when I saw basalt, I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful block, but it doesn't have slabs and stairs. And you know what's going to happen when we start using cobblestone? It's going to clash. But cobblestone is actually not as contrasted as this, which is surprising because I feel like cobblestone next to normal stone, it's just got so much more contrast in the block. All right, I got to replace those little holes in there. In fact, maybe we could leave them. We could maybe leave them. I want to just check if we can see over, if we stand on top of that wall. Yeah, we'll need to do something a bit more to this wall at the bottom if we're going to do this wall like this. I'm thinking we can maybe put a light or something inside of this, which will be a good way of containing the wall quite well, I think. Yeah, so if we were going to walk on this over here, leaving these little gaps, we wouldn't be able to see much. So turns out we can't leave the gaps, but that's all right. That's not a big deal. All right, I've just actually stepped away for a little bit and I've just come back to this. I think this is definitely a good look for the wall. I'm curious about whether if we strip these blocks, if that's going to make any difference, if it improves it, if it doesn't. Let's have a look, because I have used stripped, stripped dark oak. I've used it on the castle itself, but do we like that? I'm a bit torn between this. The stripped looks all right, but this looks so darn good with this dark wood as well. I think we go for the dark. Let's just go for the dark, and I can always tone it back to stripped if I need to. Tell me what you guys think, stripped or dark? I think we go dark. Now, what I was saying about the light is we could probably put something in around here where we could put a lantern, and that's what I actually just went to go get. Could put like a lantern in there somehow, and I'm just trying to think. If we're going down this way, so we're walking, maybe one more block down. I want to just try this out. We can always move it up. So if we do that, we'll do that too. Yeah, 2 will work. We'll go ahead, put a lantern in here, like that. We can always change the blocks up later. Maybe we could give the cyan terracotta a little bit of love. And there we go. That kind of works. We could, as you see, this is where I'm on the fence about this, because we could go ahead and put some other blocks in here, because normally what I would do, let's try to find an example of this. Don't think I've got any just nearby, but normally what I would do is I'd put 2 blocks on either side of it. Actually, there should be one over here. There we go. So you see, like there, normally I'd do this sort of thing because that frames it off so well. But I don't want to go too crazy on this wall. So maybe we're going to have to try something different. I think I might have a plan. You know, there is always something that I'm running out of in an episode. If it's not bone meal for bone blocks, it is something else. And today it was wool. And I swore I had enough wool, but turns out I didn't. So there we go. Now we should have enough. So here's the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to do something like what we've done on the inside of the castle, because we want to bring a bit of this out here as well. We want to make sure that we do feel like we're in the same place the whole time. So what we've seen is we do these sorts of things with the banners where we got red and white or white and red, depends on which way you do it, the one banner and then 2 others below it. And it sometimes flips either way, which is quite convenient because we don't actually have enough red right now. So we'll go and give this a go. Let's try it over. I want to put it over here, but I'm actually going to try it over here where we go white, white, and then red at the top. Yeah, and then red, white, white. How does that look? Disgusting according to this guy. I like it, but there's another thing that I want to try that's just going to pull these together a little bit more, which is adding that in there. That way it feels like it's a little bit more out of the way. We could do one more thing, and in fact, this will seal the deal between the dark and the stripped, and that is to go up here. Where is it? Which block is it? You know what, we'll just knock them out. How about that? We'll know which one it is by knocking them out. All right, so in here, if we do this, we'll go there, and then we'll just place in that, there, and the whole way around. And then if we strip that block, does that add a little bit too much detail that we maybe might need to turn back a bit? But does it? I don't know. Let's just put the red ones on there. That'll show me. It's got a fair bit more detail than I was originally planning on this, but it's just one thing needs the next thing, needs the next thing. Oh man, this is a tough decision because if I come around like this, I feel like that needs to have blocks there, but I'm going to refrain from doing that. I'm just going to go ahead and call this a good wall because it's plain. It hasn't got too much detail. It hasn't got too little detail. I think it hits the nail on the head. I'm just going to go ahead and stick with this one for a bit. So now what I want to do is I want to work out in 5 and 7 block increments how to get all the way back here by kind of stepping one block back every now and then. So let's go ahead and work that one out. So what I've done there is I've just stepped them out because we're going to make these walls a bit more thick. Like you can see how thick that one is there. That actually could prove to be a problem, but I think we'll be all right. But I don't want this to be too narrow. So I think if we do something like this, we'll have a good spot on the top to walk. And of course the wall will also have a bit more space for this detail in here. So I'm cool with that. All right, I've been thinking, you know, we have this problem with these things over here. And by the way, I've just put the other side of this wall in. What happens if we just do something like this? This might not be too intrusive in terms of adding too much detail, but it also might just work. How did those guys get there? You know, I'm going to go collect those. I don't want to lose them. Yeah, that actually works real well. I haven't even tried these next to each other. Look at that little curve in there. I don't know if that was intentional, but that looks so good. Yeah, I like that. That is actually a really good idea. I'm gonna leave these like this. Maybe in fact, I might flip these around and see what they look like, but I think that adds a good little bit of detail. All right, I've done most of the wall and I've just come around here and I'm so excited with the way that this place is feeling right now. I'm just loving, like, as you walk around this, the feeling you get. That's what I'm loving. I'm loving the feeling. So let's walk around here. Bam, look at that. So as we walk around the corner, it looks amazing. Piece by piece, look at that. Just 2 blocks in, 2 blocks in, 2 blocks in, and it all works so well. And I've also gone against my idea of the whole lamp in the wall. Look at this. So right here, that's where the lantern was. I'm actually going to get rid of it just because I'm probably going to want that at some stage and I'm going to be short on iron, so I'll take it there. Now, something that I am thinking about is getting rid of these. How did that break that so quickly? All right, I'll have to go get it. This block really got in there. Thank you. So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking of getting rid of these, and I want to get rid of them just temporarily, and I want to do them every now and then. Because what I was thinking about with the lantern was that it does add a little bit too much to each wall, and besides that, it does take away something that we could be putting in here, which is an actual street light, like these. One of those, where the llama happens to be chained to it. But one of these, for instance, we could put them on here and it would look so much more interesting than filling up this wall. So that's why I've brought my trusty leaf blocks, a few of these, and of course we've got our banners. I've gone and got more, and I gotta tell you, banners are some expensive things. I forget how expensive banners really are. The amount of sheep that I've had to shear to get these is pretty nuts, but I'm glad I got them. Well worth it. All right, I'm not going to put any banners up there just yet. Let's put in a bit of this. What does that look like? Can I get that over there? The spruce noise is a winner. Yeah, it's just something like that. A little bit of something over here. Yeah, it just fills in these pieces, and then we're not going to do it to all of them because I don't want it to look like it's unmaintained and overgrown. I just want it to look a little bit overgrown like that, as if there's a bush there. In fact, I need to go get some stuff so we could do one of these normal bushes like this. I think that could fit in. Won't go any higher than that. Let's just go one there. In fact, we have to go one higher. I see. We have to do it like that. There. And we'll just put in another one of those. And let's check how this looks. Yeah, that looks all right. I want to get rid of that bottom one, but that over there, that looks fine. Just a little bit of a tree. Now, actually, I haven't shown you guys this wall yet. I've got to show you guys what I've done with the wall. I've just shown you the front. There's a whole other side and the top to it that I've got to show you. But this over here is the end of the wall because this piece here, the orange, is going to become the barracks that the people who work here, the military, live in. So they'll end up connecting up to this wall at the top. That's my plan at least. Now, here is the wall on this side, and something to keep in mind is we're going to be dropping the ground maybe another 2 or 3 blocks from here so that when we come up to this, we can have a step up to the castle. And I'm thinking I'm not going to worry about the wall too much until we've dropped that down there. So for now, it's just going to sit like that, and we'll work it out when we get there. Another thing that could prove to be a little bit of a problem is the fact that the wall is coming out over here on this side of the tower. But I'm not going to worry about that because I think it'll be solved as we go there. We can eventually maybe put the wall a bit further that way and connect it up here, or maybe even put a staircase or something like that just to work that one in. But that was a bit of an oversight on my part, but it's all right. It's no big deal. So I want to put the street lamp in, and I think somewhere over here we've got enough space for it. Let's just pop one in here. I don't want to overdo this area too much, and I've got a bad habit of getting really into the area. Forgotten my dark oak fences. That's all right. There should be some right over there. That was messy, but it was planned. I knew where everything was. I just didn't put it in a neat location. That's what's going on with that chest over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it is, and then there. We'll keep it consistent. We'll keep up with all the others. Oh no, that's a problem. What we can do is we can just move it over one. That's an easy solution. We'll just do that there, and then we'll just move these over. Nice and easy, and we won't have any worries. I did not realize that iron bars were going to connect with the walls, but now that I come to think of it, I really should know that. So I guess we go back to our original location, but one out this way. This is actually a great opportunity for me to go and show you the top of the wall, which I keep forgetting about. There's nothing too exciting. I was wondering what that yellow was. I thought it was a zombie for some reason, yet I don't think there's even any yellow on zombies. But I just looked over it. I guess maybe the blue got me. But this is what the top of the wall's looking like. I think it looks wide enough. It feels like it is built to walk on, which is great. And it's only 3 blocks wide. I like it. I might end up doing something with this extra piece here because that... Oh no, I've fallen. Okay, well, I've fallen off. We'll get back on it later. That over there, I've actually just pulled out from the corners of each of these. And it seems to work well for what we got to do. All right, there it is. So we got to get rid of this one. We got to put another one of these on, and then our iron bars. And do not forget the actual lantern that we need on these. There we go, we got them in there already. 1, 2, how does it look? You know, it's a pity. I do want it to be one more back that way, but I don't really have any other option now, do I? So I guess it has to be here. I don't know what I can do about that. I feel like there's something I could do, but it's a pity that it connects like that. I suppose, I know we don't have it in survival, but the debug stick would probably solve that problem. I would imagine, but that's all right. It's not a big deal. From here, look at this. From here, it works wonderfully. So it is fine. No big deal. We'll just deal with it when we get there. So we'll put one of those in, maybe also the allium, which is a flower of choice in this area, and we will go and put in all of this stuff. Too many. There we go. A little bit more. Good. And a little bit more here. Too big. And one more. Oh, dang it. I was going to say, we got lucky. We didn't get any actual flowers. There we go. So how is this looking? Let's just take a walk through it from the bottom, take a walk from the top, and make sure that we've done good work here. So as we go around here, how are we looking? In fact, let's just do this full proper mode. Yeah, it feels a little bit overgrown over here. So maybe I'll get rid of some of those. We could put some other stuff there. We'll just keep going. Looking good, looking fine, still quite green. So maybe we will have to put in some banners or something. It just feels like sometimes you got to get the feel right on these, and it just feels like there might be a bit too much green in the area. So we'll do something like that, and then 2 white banners. I want to use these old ones. Are these stacking? Those are. Why aren't these? Look at that. The red banner doesn't. Oh no, here, the white ones. Yeah, those ones aren't. So we'll use those ones first. It's always when you place the banners down. I don't know why it does that. I suppose it's because banners could be their own thing, but I don't know why they change once you place them. Doesn't make sense, but I'm sure it does as far as the game is made. So there we go. Put those 2. You know what? I'll just place these to get a full stack later. There we go. And there does not break that block there. Now let's have another walk through. So from this angle, looking good. Maybe I'll get rid of some of these leaf blocks. Maybe we'll leave them. We'll just keep walking. That feels good. Now we go to the other side. What do we think? Yeah, I like this. I like this. This is way better with these colors in it. It definitely helps a lot. And we can maybe put in a barrel or 2. Over here, we could do something like that, and maybe just 1 over there. Actually, we'll just pick that up. Look at the banners. Probably Optifine doing that to me, but there we go. Now that's a bit too much. Just 1 barrel. Easy. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. So that over there, I think, is a wall that works for the castle. I want to have a look at it from the top of something like this over here, just to make sure that when we do eventually have a world tour, we will have a good looking wall. And that there, I mean, the angle's a little bit weird, but that there does work quite well to me. One thing we could do is soften those little pieces that go into there. We could maybe pull this out 1 or 2 more, but that's not a problem. Like, that's easily fixable if that is a problem. The other thing is we could also change these stairs into another block, but I'm not too sure what other block we would choose. Maybe blackstone, although that's probably a bit too much. Maybe quartz? I don't know. I feel like that's also too much. I'm not too sure, but we could do that. I guess cobblestone's the obvious one now that I think about it, but we could do something like that. But of course, that over there is a good looking wall. And not only that, I think that is also a great place for us to end the episode. So thank you so much for joining me, of course, in this video. And thank you so much for the crazy amount of support we've been getting so far. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one.